Good morning. Still morning, right? Good morning, Steve.
It's
How's
still
it
morning,
going?
yes. Good, how are
Awesome.
you, Bethany?
Good. The day's flying by, so that's always a good thing. I'm feeling like it's already the afternoon. We're back with another hot topics. Happy summer, everybody. We kicked off a new season over the weekend, and hopefully you guys all have some fun and exciting summer plans and are staying cool in the heat. But speaking of heat, we're back with hot topics. This one is pretty hot, I would say. It's actually Steve, you wrote this on beginning of June, and it is called Waste, Fraud, and Abuse. I love the picture that our team picked out here. It's like a dumpster with a bunch of stuff going into it, which is very much on brand with what this article is about. So I know you based this, Steve, on or you were inspired to write this based on an Inside Radio article. So tell us a little bit more about what you read and how it got you thinking about radio compared to digital.
Well, I think it sort of reawakened what we've sort of known forever, that the digital landscape is riddled with wasted advertising and frankly fraud. I mean, there've been estimates out there vary because obviously, if you knew every piece of fraud, you could fix it. Um, I mean, we're talking billions of dollars worldwide gets wasted every year on ads that frankly people don't see. I mean, there's enough scams out there where people will build a website, right, and they'll run the ads off the screen so you can't see them, but the browser thinks they're there, and so it was quote unquote visible. Same thing, if you go to a website and don't scroll to the bottom of the page, you're still served all those ads at the bottom of the page, and the advertiser is
Right,
paying for those.
right.
So I guess what it gets me is that we're not screaming about it. I don't believe in negative marketing because digital is an important part of any marketing campaign. There are certain things you should do,
Including
but
radio, including,
right,
right, yeah.
but they've eaten our lunch so much and made us look bad as an industry. Where in fact, imagine the hue and cry if all of a sudden it came out that, oh yeah, about 30% of the radio ads that you run are never heard. I mean, imagine what that would do to what would people say? And TV's the same way. 30% of your TV ads are never seen, but you're paying for them, and you would sit there and go, oh, okay, and that's effectively what's happening out there. Um, again, I do believe, I mean, digital is a part of a marketing mix if you're smart about it, but so is radio. Now we walk this fine line, unfortunately, as an industry that because we have, every group and every station has a digital arm, and every AE has to go out and sell digital as part of the buy.
Part of it, yeah.
It's hard for us as radio to go out there and go, that digital stuff, there's some fraud there, but here, I want you to buy this package with digital in it.
Make sure you include digital. Don't forget it.
Yeah, it's a fine line. I mean, a lot of this is really in display, and it comes through the programmatic. Those micro auctions that happen within thousandth of a second. That all of a sudden it decides that it's going to show up there on this website or that website. I mean, the corollary to this is brand safety, right? And that I know when I worked with an agency for a while, we worked with a couple of companies that actually gave us a list of all the websites that the ads could appear on, and we could go through there and go, no, 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 no.
So you knew ahead of time, and you could sort of decide if that wasn't where you felt would be.
In theory, yes.
Place. Yeah.
In theory. I mean, but then there's also, there's scam websites. I mean, how many emails have I gotten from Costco.com? And I'm a Costco member, but the O in Costco is a 0. Right?
They think you won't. They think they're not going to slip. You're not going to pay attention, Steve. You won't know.
Someone won't, right? And so so there's websites out there that are spoof websites that your ads can run on. I mean, there's a lot of shady business going on there. Again, I'm not saying don't buy digital, but know what you're buying.
Be aware of it.
And as an industry, radio should be pointing this out and going, we've been fraud free for over 100 years. I mean,
we're at a point in the industry where we need to be celebrating any kind of victory right now, right? Or calling to attention anything that's sets us apart, right? Because we're in the media mix with so many others, and we're really struggling as an industry as a whole right now. So I think, yes, definitely being able, like what you said, we're not saying you shouldn't do anything with digital then because this and this and this could happen, but just bringing light to it and making sure people are aware and showing in contrast Radio doesn't seem to have radio has its own problems, but radio doesn't seem to have those particular problems, right? Because it's different.
No, imagine if I'm an advertiser and the affidavit I get, the notarized affidavit I get from the radio stations lists spots they did not run or would not heard.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
I
doesn't
might.
happen, right?
No, of course
I
it
don't
does.
know. Things can get bumped. Like I'm thinking, like in traffic in the systems, if there's, but
But you know that.
right.
I was expecting my spot to run at 6:22 and it ran at 7:22. Well, we had to bump it for extra.
So you
It
know, right? And
still
you have that.
ran.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. It
People
wasn't just not there. Yeah, it
right.
ran just a little couple seconds late. Yeah.
Imagine if you were running, a stop set and underneath that stop set you were running another stop set that they couldn't hear, but it was still going out technically on the. I mean, again, I'm being absurd. I realize that, but that's kind of what happens with a lot of the digital stuff. And I think if, I think the counter sell with us is know what you're buying. Hey, look, you definitely should be on first page of Google. Absolutely. That's the yellow pages now. You better be there. But do you really need to run? And again, this is always my favorite thing. When was the last time you intentionally clicked on a banner ad? Right? Right? I mean, we all do it accidentally every now. Oh, I hit
Oops.
that.
Click.
And
Yep.
then you immediately close the website, right?
Right.
But I mean, banner ads. I mean, it's interesting. It was Roy Williams, I think, who he does the Monday Morning Memo. He does is great, and he had a good point recently where we talk about it's a short attention span world and all that kind of stuff. And we all have ADHD and that.
Right. Nobody can
His
focus.
His point wasn't that no, the attention spans haven't gotten shorter. We've trained ourselves to filter stuff out.
Oh, so we're even subconsciously, we already know what we want to focus our attention on. Oops, that's my mic. And what we want to just, no, we don't care. It's already done in our heads for us.
Right. Go back to the website example. How many website ads do you actually even see? Right? I mean, they're there, but you're scrolling through for whatever content you're there for, information.
You're being served, but you're not.
Are you paying attention to it?
Yeah, right.
No. Yeah, most people aren't, I mean, I don't know about you, but the only time I really notice ads is when I've just done a search for something.
Yep.
And then I go to a site and all of a sudden all I'm being served is ads for what that thing I searched for.
Yeah, I have the same experience. Or I've noticed, because we have Alexas in our house. Hopefully she doesn't hear me, but and then I'll be asking it questions about something, and then sometimes it's a couple days later, but sometimes it's right away. I'm on a site and all of a sudden I've got ads for casserole recipe, whatever it was that I was asking Alexa about. So yeah,
well,
I mean,
and that's the thing too. Is that the seduction curve of instant gratification, right? That digital came along and said, "Oh, but you know what, Bethany, I can tell you now exactly how many people saw your ad. How many people clicked through it to your website. Blah 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 blah. Powerful information, important information." But I think people have gotten seduced by that into just thinking that because radio can't give you instant gratification. I mean, I know there are services out there now that can track all that kind of stuff. So I'm not saying it's not existent, but at the end of the day, radio does move the needle. Otherwise, it just wouldn't re-up, right? If you're a local hardware store, I mean, I think there's an ABC store here, and they ran a spot schedule somewhere, and people showed up. Well, they're gonna buy a spot schedule again if people came up to buy tools. Again, I don't want to crap on digital. I think there's a lot of important to it, but I think that to ignore the massive amount of waste, fraud, and abuse that happens in that space,
compared to radio,
radio can take advantage of that, and just again, don't buy them, buy us. Just like when you buy them, know what you're getting. Ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Because hopefully if I'm selling you radio, I'm also telling you why you're buying me and why it will benefit you because of who we reach, et cetera. All the
power of the medium in general. What
exactly.
We can't, what your successes are going to look like by using this, what it could look like, that type of stuff, and what we measure, how we measure things differently, like you just pointed out, Steve, as opposed to digital, and what we're able to tell you.
I mean, again, no waste, fraud, and abuse in radio, at least not for the advertiser.
So you heard it here. Another great Power of Radio point from Steve Allen. We hope you guys have enjoyed this Hot Topics behind the scenes. Thanks, Steve, for coming on and sharing. We'll be back soon to cover some more topics. And until then, everyone have a fantastic day.
See ya.
Bye-bye.